All right, we are live. And the first thing I'm going to do is update the title here. Today's training is going to be on using the high-level rebilling dashboard to check if you're losing money from rebilling charges. And this was inspired by a call I had with a client last week. We did a one-on-one, and we discovered he was losing 5 grand a month from improper settings. There's a bunch of issues you got to check on. So I'm going to list those off real quick, and then I'll show you how to find them. So your complement people, a lot of the sub accounts automatically set up with a complimentary credit. Um, they also have, we got somebody else joining. I'm gonna let them in. You got complimentary credits. You need to make sure the rebilling is turned on for all the AI employee settings, which are on a different screen from all of the traditional rebilling options. They need to all be on SaaS mode or there is no rebilling. And then you also need to make sure you adjust the current settings for all of your sub accounts. So you got to go one by one through all of the ones you already have. And lastly, you want to change the settings in the SaaS configurer so that when you create new sub accounts, they have the proper settings. So that's the long and short of what we're about to go through. But we did have one newcomer hop in. I want to greet real quick, who is, oh, did they lose him? G Combs. Have I met you before? If you can come off mute, I'd love to meet you before we get going through everything. But I think he just hopped out. So we're going to go ahead, guys. Let me see what's in the chat here. All right, perfect. So let me throw these earbuds in because my business partner is moving out today back to Miami. Make sure that worked. But you guys can still hear me. Yep, you guys can hear me.
Yes, yes, yes. We can hear you.
Beautiful. Thanks, everybody. So now I'm going to get right to it. So a couple nuances in this dashboard I'm going to point out that are new things. Like they just introduced invoicing, and so a lot of my commission comes from affiliate commission for one thing, so it's not super high in this dashboard. And another reason is invoices, like recurring invoices and invoices do not, even if it's recurring, do not add to your MRR in here. So there's some glitches on the high level side when it comes to this dashboard. But the rebilling dashboard is what we're here to talk about, which is right here. They added this, pretty recently, actually, guys. So up until in the last year, there was no way for you to get a quick look and see, am I losing money? And first off, a lot of you would have clicked into this and be like, oh, I'm fine. But here's the thing where you're about to be, where your stomach will drop. So if everybody's here, what you're going to want to do is this box right, this button right here is going to tell you, normally it should only be your sub account that is not being rebilled. And so that means it's charging straight to the agency and that'll show negative. But if you go like this, mine's negative because the amount of usage that I do sending out all these emails and texts costs slightly more than the profit that I make from the other sub accounts. So it balances out. Now it'd be really bad if I wasn't making profit from the sub accounts. But you can check this and then you can like go one by one and look at what's going on in here. You can go sub account by sub account and you can see like where the fees are coming from. So like Massmarket AI, apply. So it shows 0, but my real cost is, shoot, is that right? Oh, okay, this is over months. I was like, holy crud. No, so each month I'm spending like 2 grand on usage. And that's normal. I send out a lot of messages, but I make back way more than that for sure. So that's how you check. And then when you're looking at this, make sure you're looking month by month. But you can go just to 1 month and you can say, okay, I'm negative 1,800 here. And then you can flip back over to all of the sub accounts. And you can see, you can work out if you're losing money. So the guy on the call, when he opened this up, he saw, as soon as he hit this, he saw negative 5K. And so then what you'd want to do is you go to your sub account. And like I saw, I was spending roughly 1,800 a month. You can also just go to 1 month and take a look at it. So I lost 252 this month. And so then you just take the total profit here for 1 month and you subtract what you spent in your agency sub account, which should be the only one that's not being rebilled. And that should tell you like if you're losing money beyond just what your main sub account is using. Now you can also put your own sub account in SaaS mode. You're not really going to lose any money because the profit all goes to you anyway. And so having your own sub account in SaaS mode will make it even more clear if you're losing money or not, because then you can just it should be the same on either way you look at it. It won't change. So that's a safer way to do it. But a lot of you guys, I know your main sub account is not going to be on SaaS mode. So that's step one. And now we're going to go into how you set this up properly. So I'm going to show you from this view how you need it set up. You can edit the account here. And this is just like when you start a new sub account, these are the settings it will start with. When you go to rebilling, there are a few, you want to go to trials and credits. You want to make sure that there is no credit. Even if you have a lot of sub accounts, even $10 can add up. But I discovered that I was giving $100 credits to a lot of my sub accounts. And I think that may be the default high level setting for some of these. So you want to make sure that's changed or you're going to be paying for the usage. And you don't need to do that. When you go in here, you got to go eat one by one. Make sure all of them are set on what you want to set them on. And when I first started my agency, I thought 2x was too much, even though these prices are actually way lower than what most software services charge for text and calling. But the problem is, like, if you're Stripe, which is what most people are using, it digital products, coaching, all these things are in a high risk category. And if you get if they don't know you're high risk and they find out, if you get on a reserve, you're going to be in a bad position because if they start holding 25% for 60 days, that means now for 60 days, you're losing money on all of your usage for all your clients. And as you guys see, I spend $1,800 in my sub account. So just imagine what it is when you have a lot of sub accounts. It is a lot of money. And so you need to be very careful. And I highly recommend starting them all on two. And, if you get a client who's like, no, I need this adjusted, then make a deal with them and adjust it. But just keep in mind, like, start on two to be safe. For your add-ons, you need to make sure about these two. So if you have these boxes checked, then that means you're going to pay for it for that sub account. So you want all of those unchecked. And I had my team accidentally go through and they checked all of these for a lot of people and I had to go uncheck them. So now you're going to need to go one by one through your existing sub accounts, unfortunately, but it'll take a couple hours, but you need to do it, especially if you saw some concerning things in that dashboard. So you go into the sub account. I'm going to go to one that I know is on SaaS mode. Manage client. And you go to rebilling. So here you want to check your complimentary credits for every single account. You can fix that if you may find that a lot of them have credits, and then you're going to want to go through here and put all of them on 2x. And I think I'm going to lower this one a little bit for them because they just came back onto texting. All right, so now you're going to go to your AI employee settings. There's one more spot you still have to check, ladies and gentlemen. It's right in here. And you need to make sure that the rebilling is on for any that are on SaaS plans. And these are like demo accounts and stuff, so they're not on SaaS. But every single one should be on SaaS mode. And I realized I forgot one thing. I'm going to show you back on the sub account settings in 1 minute. But you need to go manage your offer. I would keep this on 1.5 or 2. And I'm going to put it on 2 actually. And you want to make sure this is set up the right way.
I have a question.
Say again, Zia?
I have a question. If we put
Yeah, go ahead.
1.5, if we put 1.5 instead of 2.
1.5 is fine, but like I said, if you end up getting a reserve on 1.5, then you'd be at 1.25. So you'll still be safe. But I like to kick this up so that they want to go unlimited, right? The higher this is, the more they're going to want to go to unlimited.
Okay.
And a lot of times I'll go into a business and I'll say, hey, as an opener, I'll be like, I'll do a free AI voice setup for you guys because it takes 10 minutes to set up. And I'll be like, it's a free setup. You're still going to pay for your phone number and your usage. And this will get them motivated to want to go unlimited. And when they make it, it helps them just move things along.
Okay.
This
So
is
it's, it's so it's faster the whole process.
say that again.
So if we put the 2x, then it's faster the whole process. Am I right or what?
Yeah, it's going to encourage, they're going to see that bill is high. And then you're going to say, oh, well, you can go unlimited for this. And if any of you guys want to get into my free resources, I'm going to cover at the end. I've got a ton of bonuses. That's the one thing I do cover on this call. Most of you know I have a small business side where I set up small businesses and do their marketing and everything. But you guys are agencies, and I also have a white label agency support and fulfillment side. And so if you want access to all of my resources for agencies, which I'll cover later, you can put my code in here and you can turn one account on to unlimited, and that'll give you access. So that way I can skip talking about this later. But the one thing that I forgot to show you guys that's super important to make sure that you're not losing money is you got to go into your sub accounts and you want to go through each one again. And you need to make sure, well, you can check it easier this way. So if it's an active account and you can tell by usage, right? So you can filter it even by the amount of usage they have. You can sort it. And then yeah, right here. So you can sort by calls or texts or whatever to see the people that are actually using it. And you want to make sure that they are all on SaaS mode, right? Because if they're not on SaaS mode, they may not be getting rebilled. And you want all usage to be going to their cards on SaaS mode unless they are um unless it's your sub account. And then I believe even if you're on the unlimited plan, that it'll still charge to the card that's on file for that sub account. Um, but you want to make sure. And so if you're on the SaaS mode where you do have rebilling, you should make sure they're all on SaaS. And that pretty much covers it. So I'm gonna hit the bonuses for you guys that may not know about them real quick. Um, oh, wrong page. So this is my like masterclass that HighLevel had me on. My specialty is AI, and you get a bunch of bonuses that are specifically like beneficial for the AI employee. Um, we've got a snapshot. This is called my Supercharged AI Employee Snapshot. That's what I debuted on this call. What it does is it gives a memory of the voice AI of the past voice conversations, and it also makes it aware of the conversations happening in the conversational AI. So that means over WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, web chat, and SMS. So it unifies the memory and gives the calls memory of past calls. It also gives the text channels memory of the calls. So it works both ways. You also get access to my earlier sessions where I help you with whatever you need. So I do a training for everybody that's public at 2 p.m. Eastern. But at 1 p.m., I've got my current DIY clients, my white label agency clients, and my small business clients that come on and I help them with whatever they need. For an hour, that's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. You get it's like 4 courses. I've got some for integrating third-party AI voice and texting systems like ZappyChat, Air AI, CloseBot, Bland, Vappy, all this stuff. We show you how to integrate it. But really, like I'm focused more on the native, like what's inside HighLevel, because that I believe is the better way to have an agency. Easier setup times, and the native system is really good now. So we've got our supercharged AI snapshot, which is a full native build out, how we do it to get the AI set up. And we've got it down now to where using our course, you can set up AI to book appointments over the voice and text systems within 20 minutes. So basically just with a website, you can get it all set up really easily. You get access to my 11,000 member community and our like SaaS website, which is you can use as a template for reselling the same services we resell. We've also got a tax credit guide here that shows you guys how to get 50% off. The government will pay for 50% of your website build out, and your clients can also claim it for theirs and for AI systems. I'm going to drop the link to this page here and my one-on-one booking link if anybody wants to talk to me about getting set up with any of our services. And the pricing and everything is on my main site, Massmarket AI for everything. If you want to go here, you just go to the choose the option and scroll down to the pricing. Oh, and so you guys have the links there. Now I'm going to open it up for questions, and that's pretty much a wrap. So I'm going to stop sharing now. I can still go back and show anything if anybody has questions, but now the floor is y'all's. Is there anything that you guys had questions on that I showed, or anything about any of our services that you guys have questions on?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
You have your courses. You need to
Yeah,
pay for the you need to pay for the courses, or it's free of course.
it's free if you just get affiliated. So you need to use my code for AI employee, like I was showing earlier, or you can start a trial for a Go High Level agency if you don't have one. It's also possible to migrate your agency over to a new one if you want to save money. You get a 30-day trial through my link, or you can upgrade your agency. So you can go from the 97 to the 297 or 297 to 497. So any of that stuff will get you access to all those bonuses I mentioned and my courses. And I'll give you guys a quick look at the courses. They're well put together. We've had them for a while. They were rusty at first, but now they're starting to look pretty polished. And this is the community. And these are the courses. This is the one I was talking about. This is the most up to date. You can see I had this that I came out with just a month or two after Air AI first came out. I've been doing this stuff as long as anybody, and I've been doing integrating text AI systems for over 4 years. Voice AI for 2. And this is it. So you've got the quick setup right here. And then we've got a deep AI setup right here. And I've got some videos that explain what that is on my YouTube, which I'll share with you guys. YouTube, Rob's gone. Share that here too. But all right, guys. Does that answer your question, brother? Anything else you need?
No, thank you so much. Can you please
All right.
share your YouTube channel link?
Yeah, it's in the chat right now. The last one on the chat. And then if anybody has any other questions, you want to talk to me, or you have questions before you want to talk, the same link that you got texted to join the meeting, just shoot me a text there. I'll be watching my phone today. Thank you guys all so much for coming. Is there anything else anybody needs? All right. I'm calling it a day. Thank you, fellas and ladies. I'll see you soon. I'll be back on Saturday at 1 p.m. for clients, 2 p.m. for newcomers. See you, Farad. See you, Zia, Mario, Randy. Thanks, guys.